Good morning! We have some very exciting Apple products to unveil today. Well, yes, Craig Federighi here, and I'm excited to showcase all the new iPads that— Craig, no iPads today. No, what are we doing this for then? Just the new pencil. Just talk about the pencil, not the new tablets. Just the pencil, but we had new iPad. We haven't released any iPads this year, Tim. iPadOS team isn't ready yet. They didn't finish it, okay? We need to just talk about the new pencil today. Tim, they're not even ready to ship yet. We can't even take orders for them. That's fine. It's fine. Just talk about the pencil, and that's all. Okay, well, today there's a new pencil, and you're gonna hate it. I know this may not sound that exciting to you, but to give things a little bit of perspective, Apple has literally done nothing with the Apple Pencil lineup since October of 2018. Yes, if you are capable of doing math, which may be harder with an iPad due to the lack of calculator app, that means it's been 5 years since they've touched any Apple Pencils. Like, not only have they not updated the design or the features, but they've also not changed the pricing. So the Apple Pencil 1, with the stupid cap that you can lose, and the stupid lightning connector with that stupid charging method, has remained the exact same price of $99 since they announced it in 2015, okay? 8 years ago, and they still haven't touched that one. And the Apple Pencil 2, of course, is more expensive, but far superior with its wireless charging connectivity, the more matte finish, and the removal of the cap. So we don't get to talk about new Apple Pencils every day, but today we are, because Apple has not released Apple Pencil 3rd generation, or Apple Pencil SE, but they have literally branded this one Apple Pencil USB-C. That's the official terminology. It feels like the AirPods Pro all over again. If it has USB-C, it comes with its own set of features. We don't call it 3rd generation. We don't call it, SE or something. No, we just call it the USB-C version. And this is a weird one, I gotta say. This was a bit of a curveball, but in my opinion, a lot of people are critical of this new pencil out the gate, while I actually love it. So I'm sorry if you were hoping for Pixel Boy to continue being negative towards Apple. I'm actually gonna defend them today and express why I think they are totally in the right on this, and it's a great addition to the lineup. So as most of you may remember, the iPad 10 we got last year was a huge joke, mostly because it expected you to use an adapter to connect a 1st generation Apple Pencil to an iPad with USB-C. It was so weird, it was so stupid, and the fact now that they've replaced the stupid easy to lose cap with just this little sliding mechanism, kind of like a slide whistle, so whenever you're ready to charge, you just— and then the USB-C port presents itself. Now you can just use any old USB-C cable, which if you have an iPad with a USB-C port, you probably already have, and you can just plug it straight into the Apple Pencil to charge it. No more having to do this weird pencil sticking out the charge port design, or having to use all these different dongles and adapters. It's so disgusting how many adapters had to come with the 1st generation Apple Pencil just so that you could get it to work with the iPad 10th gen. Now, no adapters necessary, just use any old Type-C cable, and no cap to actually remember or lose track of. And on top of that, it's an improvement on the Apple Pencil 1st gen because you still have a magnetic connector that will let you slap it on the side of your iPad, just like you could with an Apple Pencil 2. Even on the iPad 10th generation, which is funny to me because it does not support the wireless charging that the iPad Air, Mini, and Pros do, but there's still, I guess, magnets that can hold it in place. That's a lot better to keep track of and to hold on to than the Apple Pencil 1, which didn't snap onto anything, so you just kind of had to throw it in with a bag or buy a third-party case to attach the Apple Pencil 1 to. I had that 1st generation Apple Pencil with my 2015 iPad Pro and my 2017 iPad Pro, and that was just not fun to always have it attached to some third-party case all the time. And of course, this one is also cheaper, starting at $80 instead of $100. And if you're open to my idea that the 1st generation Apple Pencil should not exist at all because it's Lightning, there's only one iPad in the lineup that still has Lightning, and even if you have a Lightning iPad, I still suggest you buy a 1st generation Apple Pencil secondhand because they've been around for 8 years. So you can find them for super cheap online or on secondhand, Facebook Marketplace or something. You could probably find them for 50 or 40 bucks if you're willing to go with one. But in regards to people walking into an Apple store, buying an iPad and looking for an Apple Pencil that works for them, this I think saves, 30 to 40% compared to spending well over $100 on the Apple Pencil 2. But there are some compromises which a lot of people online are considering deal deal breakers that I personally think are worthy compromises. So the biggest one is the no pressure sensitivity. So you can push as hard as you want with this Apple Pencil and it's not going to register any differently. But what's interesting is it still supports the tilting effect. So you can tilt it on its side to get a bit more shading if you were doing a sketch or a drawing. But if you were hoping to make a drawing where like the ink or the paint changes in intensity by the harder you push the pencil, this was something that was on the first gen and second generation Apple Pencil that they have taken out from this one, which, you know, if you're a hardcore artist, I could see being a little bit of a frustration. But personally, like based on how I've seen most people use Apple Pencils, I really don't think this is that big a deal. I think there's a few people that might care about that, particularly if you're doing digital artwork and you're trying to make it look like you're painting or using watercolors. That's when the pressure sensitivity really helps out. But most people I see using Apple Pencils are not using it for that. They're typically using it to take some quick notes, jog down some ideas, or in math classes, you know, having those flow charts and boxes that you can easily just draw and sketch out a couple of basic things. Essentially, all of the features I see Apple advertising within iPadOS and the Apple Pencil, like, hey, this new scribble feature works. All of that will work whether you have pressure sensitivity or not. Many people may disagree with me, but I'm personally fine with the pressure sensitivity being a more, it's not a pro feature, right? But it's an Apple Pencil 2 feature. Like, you only spend $130 if you really care about that pressure sensitivity. And if you're just using it for note-taking and just jogging down some basic stuff, I still think this new USB-C Apple Pencil will work perfectly fine with that. Still has ultra low latency. Is this new Apple Pencil alone to get me to run out and buy a new iPad just so that I can check out this new pencil? No, it's not like a deal maker for me, but I think that it's nice that Apple's finally made a more affordable pencil that doesn't have a stupid cap that you can easily lose, that charges via USB-C, so European Union approved, and it still attaches magnetically to the side of the iPad, which makes it so much easier to carry around with you. I actually could see a lot of people buying this, not just for the iPad 10 customers out there, but also iPad mini customers or iPad Air customers that are trying to save some money because, you know, they don't want a Pro. So if you're buying a $500 or $400 iPad, yeah, you probably don't feel like dropping $130 on an Apple Pencil. Heck, you probably didn't even want to drop $100. So the fact that there's going to be a new one for $80 apparently in early November, yes, you can't even order this thing yet. Yeah, I think this is a good addition to the lineup. The only thing I would change with the Apple Pencil lineup right now is I'd kill off the first gen and I'd kill off the iPad 9. I'm guessing the only reason Apple is still selling the first generation Apple Pencils because they must have a lot in stock and they're just trying to get rid of them, or there's still a lot of people buying the iPad 9th generation just because it's so absurdly cheap, and maybe some people are willing to put up with the old 8-year Apple Pencil design. But the more interesting dilemma that a lot of people are asking themselves now is like, is this it for Apple and iPads this year? Because in case you forgot, Apple hasn't released any new iPads throughout all of 2023, and there's only a couple months left. And there were some rumors brewing that perhaps we were gonna get new iPads via a site refresh this week, but obviously that did not happen. We haven't gotten any new iPads. So a lot of people are wondering if were we supposed to get iPads this week and Apple decided not to release them, or is Apple planning something for later in the year? But if that's the case and there's supposed to be new iPads in November or something, why would they unveil this Apple Pencil right now? You know, it's a little bit confusing. Maybe it's Apple trying to get a little bit of a head start on the USB-C transition. You know, like, okay, the iPhone's got Type-C, the Apple Pencil should too. Maybe it's Apple just trying to do us a favor, which doesn't sound like them, but maybe by announcing it before it's even ready, they're trying to prevent too many people from buying Lightning Apple Pencils or Apple Pencil 2s for more money when they're literally about to be refreshed or discontinued with the launch of new iPads in a couple weeks. Apple's done weird things in regards to their marketing in the past, where maybe one day they'll drop an Apple Pencil, and who knows, maybe tomorrow we'll get an iPad 11th generation, which there's even been references to on Amazon from case manufacturers. And usually when you start seeing those kinds of things, it's typically because there's a new iPad release imminent. So my personal prediction is that we are going to get at least one or two new iPads, which are not going to be new designs or a lot of new features, probably just a chip upgrade before the end of this year. I have no idea when, but it would be very bizarre, in my opinion, for them to drop just this new pencil and no new iPads for the remainder of 2023. That would be the first time since the iPad's inception that Apple did not release a new one during an entire calendar year. And I think both scenarios are weird. Like, either Apple has a staggered release of Apple Pencil and iPads, or they don't release iPads at all. And either situation is odd. So that's why I'm just like, you know what? Apple's probably just trying to sprinkle the releases so that they have a bit more control over the media for the remainder remainder of the year. So today, everyone can talk about an Apple Pencil. Maybe tomorrow or next week, everybody will talk about the new budget iPad, or the new chip upgrade in an iPad mini, or the M2 chip in a new iPad Air. Something small. I don't expect anything massive to come out, but would be very odd if this is the last product release from Apple for 2023. What do you guys think is going to happen? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. Seriously, helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. So thanks again. This is your Apple Peer, and I will see you all in the next one.